Welcome to the Insomniac Museum. I love the Insomniac Museum in this game. It's amazing. It's huge. It's a huge place. Lots to explore, lots to see, lots to do. So, are you ready? Because I am. There might be a couple of instances where the game's like, oh, would you mind using a weapon for this? And if so, I'm going to do it. Because I want to explore the Insomniac Museum. The Insomniac Museum in this game is really damn good. Like, so much effort has been put into this place. So, I love it. I would love to see the next PS4 game have another Insomniac Museum similar to this. Because the last Insomniac Museum in the PS4 Ratchet was good, for sure. But it felt more like a montage of, like, here's some stuff you can see, and not just, like, learning about development. Like, which is always the case, or seeing what was cut from the game and stuff. Like, the PS4 Ratchet was more like a testament of showing like the best bits of all the games that had come previously, which isn't a bad thing, but it wasn't as exciting. But anyway, welcome, weary space traveller, to the fabled Insomniac Museum. Come inside, kick off your hover boots, and feast your eyes upon all that makes up the Ratchet universe. Lost levels, forgotten enemies, tantalizing videos, it's all here in one place. Ready to fuse your synapses into a tangled mess of smouldering goo. So, let's start with this way. As I said, it's big. Real big. So, you're gonna get lost. There's a lot to explore. So, let's go this way first. Man, I don't even know where to begin. Facilities. What's this? This is like a bounce pad or... Oh, that's kind of neat. That's pretty neat. I kinda like that. Alright. Well, nothing there to explore, so let's check out what's in here. The burn room. Sweet. Okay then. God, there's so much already. I'm already lost on where I want to go. I guess that's the one thing that the Ratchet PS4 Insomniac Museum did well, was it made everything very easy to discover by like having segmented rooms and stuff. The ladies' room, I see. Well, I appear to be in here, so... Ah, the men's room. Look at you, kitty. Laser kitty. Yeah, I remember the laser kitty. I do remember that. Laser kitty's pretty good. Can I get a close-up of the laser kitty? Yeah, I can. Go laser kitty. Oh man, there's so much to explore already. Jesus Christ. Yes, please. Sure, I don't know what these are. Are these watching all the cutscenes again? Is that what this is? I think it is. I think you can watch cutscenes again. Oh, that's how you leave. Oh. 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 I gotcha. You know, there's a part of me which is sad that happened. And the other part of me, well done. Well done, game. Alright, well, I'm still incredibly lost. There's so much we haven't explored. I've explored basically nothing. I guess that's kind of one of the things this game has sort of done wrong in that respect. With the Insomniac Museum. Like, with 2 and 3, when you went into an area, there was clearly something to see. Like, if you went into a cubicle like this, there was something there. There was something worth looking at. In this, there just doesn't seem to be much, per se, if that makes sense. Upgradable armor. When you buy and wear any type of armor before a pre-rendered cutscene, we have to render a different version of each type of armor, or the cutscene won't match what he's wearing when you go back into the game. If you played previous Ratchet games, you may notice that Ratchet does not appear in any of the pre-rendered cutscenes. in-game cutscenes work because we can do a check on which armor you've bought and display it in the scene. In this game, we wanted our pre-rendered cinematics to help tell the story and make it more personal. Our solution was to give Ratchet special armor that you can deactivate before a pre-rendered cutscene. This allows you to upgrade your armor and still see Ratchet's sensitive side up close and personal. Oh, that's kind of cool. That's pretty neat. What's out here? I guess you just get to look at outside. It doesn't appear to be anything. Hello. You're doing some animations. Good for you. Hard at work. Stay strong, buddy. Okay, anything else to look at here? It certainly is. Oh, man. Oh, that's a face. That bottom left one is pretty great. Proto-Ratchet. When we first started out Ratchet Clank Tools of Destruction, we had a plan to use the new console's processing power to create a more detailed model of Ratchet that would have more human facial features and expressions. We went with this concept for a while before thinking, you know what? It's not Ratchet anymore. The model was changed to a higher resolution version in the style of the classic Ratchet. Yeah, I'm glad, because that just doesn't look right. It looks weird. It looks really weird. Alright, where next? Oh, there's something in here. Yes. What's the point of this? That's for... oh, maybe it's this. Just hit the button or... Rigging. Rigging is the process of adding joints to an object and setting it up to use one of our gameplay classes. Classes determine how an object behaves in-game. We have enemy classes, destructible classes, and many more. One type of class is a wrench grapple platform. By rigging up joints in a specific way and using this class, we can create a platform that Ratchet can move along a path in 3 dimensions and so forth. I see. Whoa. Tools of destruction. A big part of Ratchet is blowing stuff up. We can design objects to break apart, create new objects, or shatter in unique and interesting ways. The strength, weight, and force of explosion can be modified to get the right feeling. That's cool. That's pretty neat. Let's see, where next? What's in here? Some of the crates bounced into here. Oh, QA! Testing! Nice. That's pretty cool. I see there's something in here, maybe. Support. I guess it makes sense if it's like the dev team, like that's what they're going for here. But at the same time, part of it just feels empty, unfortunately. Which is where a little bit of it falls flat, which is a shame. Oh, what's this? Nothing, apparently. Ah, that room, yes. I do recall that. I don't know if there's anything decent in there, but I remember it. Art! Oh, hello. Press triangle for info. Building stuff that works, sort of. When it comes to showing functionality, many of the most successful joints and articulation systems come from the actual machinery. This allows the exaggerated and outlandish designs to be grounded and provides a trace of plausibility. This helps the player suspend disbelief and remain immersed. Implausible functionality often leads to, yeah right, or that could never happen, even though they just flew a spaceship through the solar system to get to that enemy segment. Huh, yeah, that's interesting. Like, that's the thing I have with Breath of the Wild. Like, if I get an axe and like I use it on an enemy that's like, you know, flesh and blood, and then after like 2 to 5 swings the weapon crumbles and is unusable, like that's the kind of thing that just takes me immediately out, because that would never happen. It's a fucking axe. Like I do like Breath of the Wild. I've been playing it more. I do like it a lot more now. But at the same time, you just, every so often, you just, I see something like that and I'm like, but no, like, but really no, that's not how, like, having an element of realism, or at least the facade, that it feels realistic enough, is so much, I find. Retro and Deco. Retro appliances and Art Deco furniture has the clean line with visual functionality featured in almost Ratchet Clank character asset. Almost every, sorry. The main reasons for these forms lend themselves well to the franchise are the large surface areas that are complemented by the small clusters of detail. In most cases it will be the small clusters of tech, but this rule also applies to organic forms like creatures and, well, more creatures. That's pretty cool. I'm digging this. I'm liking what they're showing off. It's cool. Not too sure what the outside portions are for, unless you can glide to that area over there. I feel like that's not possible though. This music feels very Spyro 1 actually, thinking about it. Like it's giving me a massive Spyro 1 vibe. That was kind of cool. That was also kind of cool. Anything out here? I think not, no. Oh, I stand corrected. How wrong I was. Oh, what's that out there? That's the Leviathan from Tools of Destruction, I think. If it is indeed the same thing. Okay, so we're back here. Okay, that's cool. We made it round. So I need to find the thing that opens that up. I vaguely recall where it is, I think. Oh, it's the silhouettes of all the characters. Silhouettes of every design, whether it's a gun, spaceship or NPC character, the main focus should always be the silhouette read. If the character works from a distance and remains iconic, then the character has a good chance of being a successful design. Iconic silhouettes are memorable, which in a stylized platform is very important. That's actually a good point. I've never thought about silhouettes before, actually. That is true. Huh. Yeah, I like that. That's cool. See, the thing is, I may have made some of these points in the past. I don't remember any of it. It's been so long since I've played these, you know? Alright, let's go here, shall we? Tetramites are actually based on a similar flying swarm enemy from Resistance 2. We adapted them to crawl along the ground and eat Brigus nectar or anything else would go in their way. We're always looking for ways to create new creatures that are part of the environment instead of just an enemy plopped down in a spot for no reason. Hazards that make creative use of our gadgets add to the puzzle element of Ratchet and make the gameplay more diverse. Yes. Problem here now is... oh no! Do I have any? Nope, I'm gonna fucking die. I'm gonna fucking die! I'm assuming it's because I've gone far away enough. Good. I need the nectar. Where is the nectar? Is there nectar in this room or something? Zony themes. A lot of the Zony structures use their large round eyes and as an architectural theme. Look around the hints of Zony history. Okay. Oh, I see what you mean, yeah. Epic fairy tale style. The Briga system is a mysterious and enchanted place. Time behaves strangely and there are many bizarre phenomena. It is the home to the Zony, a race that was once worshipped and now thought to be mythological. In a section of the galaxy that feels both beautiful and haunted. The worlds are overgrown. Yawning is still apparent. Alien vegetation grows rapidly and has invaded the architecture and taken over many structures. The worlds have both artifacts created by ancient Zony worshippers and ethereal, that's the word, technology constructed by the Zony. There's a romantic beauty to these worlds. Streams of sunlight, puffy clouds, rolling hills and golden sunsets can be found. There are also haunted woods, gnarled trees and spooky mists that give some locations an eerie and mysterious tone. That's kind of cool. So I think this is the cutscene location for, you know, when you leave there was that guy sitting on the couch. I think it's there. I think that is the place. Not sure what these are for, but they're here, so, you know. Hello. Rocket Ride to Oblivion. The end of the first trip to Vorselon's ship originally involved traversing an escape rocket hurtling through space with Vorselon in the nose cone. The player would start at the bottom and have to negotiate a gravity boot path prepared with obstacles. The hook here was that the rocket was dropping sections off starting from the bottom up, just like a multi-booster rocket. The player would reach the nose cone and Vorselon would escape. After several iterations, we learned that the amount of time and work needed to polish this segment would bleed into too many important aspects of the game. Sadly, this rocket ended up going nowhere. Oh, that's a shame. That's really cool. That would have been fun. That would have been really fun, I imagine. Well, I still need to find the stupid, honey stuff. Honey, I'm home. No, but I do. I need to find it. So where is this the cold room? Or whatever. Burn room. Not cold room. Yes it is. Okay, so I know where I am. So I've done the entire bottom right section. So let's go up here. Effects! Nice. How did that survive? All hail the indestructible crate. Except not indestructible, but could have been. This is the effects room, yeah. Nice. Creative, aha! Alright, let's make our way back. Let's make our way back. We know what we need to do now. I'm assuming there's something half decent in there, since there's a fair amount of effort put into making you get there. Hello, I'm here. Come at me. I can't help but notice you're a little faster than I am. Please don't fail. Nice. Oh, there is something in here. Teleport me. Oh, this is cool. What's the dealio? I feel like this is like an assault course or something. Vollard settlement. Oh, sorry, just scratched my face and my headphones came off. After saving Crow Canyon from the Agorian invasion, we wanted the player to be able to interact with the townsfolk they had saved and open up some optional collection quests. The area at the top of the canyon was fully completed, but we ran into problems with the level memory. There was just too much stuff in Crow Canyon, and after a while the game started crying real tears trying to make it run. We had spent a lot of time on the battlefield and decided to simplify the area to get the level running. Some of the things we planned included hoverboot chases for Zoni, a Tetromite puzzle, and an optional mission to put out fires for the villas. Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. So is all of it actually here, or is it just like a bit of it? I guess we'll find out. So this is where they would have been. The Mallards are the creatures who talk like this. They have a voice modulator to make them sound more authentic. I believe those are the creatures that they're referring to. Of course I could be wrong. Anyway, that voice is over and done with. I enjoyed making it. It was a good voice. Hydroid. This little guy used to be in a few levels. He's an animal version of the Hydroid plant, and the player could pick him up and carry him around to new areas requiring big jumps. Unfortunately, this meant the player could lug him all over the level and jump out of the world. Even though we all found him hilarious, we had to downgrade him to an endangered species to extinct. Oh. Okay, so this is kind of similar. Oh, I see, yeah. It's kind of similar to the one in Size Matters, actually. A little bit. Oh, well then. Huh, that's kind of funny. You poor bastard. Yeah, it's kind of similar to the bit in Size Matters. Like you could take a plant, they could only go into certain soil sections. But yeah, I can totally see their reasoning for cutting it short. I get it. Like, it would totally break the game. I don't know if there's anywhere else I can go from here. It looks like there is, because there's something up there, but I don't know how I would do it. Oh, yes I do, I'm an idiot. Yes I do, I'm big old dumb. I make you bigger. Again. Yay, let's break the level. Oh, but the oil thing, I need oil. But how would one get oil, such as this? I don't know. You know what? Oh dear. Oh no. Oh, thank God. Okay. You know what? I don't need to explore any more of here. I think it's basic stuff that doesn't really do much more, so we're done. Before we go to the area where we were, I do want to check the right side of here, I think. Is there anything I missed? It might not be, actually. There's that side. The Quark conference room, I see. The server room. Oh, the different servers! Ah, I see. I see. You know what? I might do that area last. So let's go back out. So actually, I guess there's only like 3 sections of this area, maybe? Sort of, to a point. Yeah, this is where we were before. Okay, cool. So yes, what's in here? What's the dealio with you? Gameplay philosophy. In this game, we will consider the following: strong primary gameplay in the form of multiple missions and goals that emphasize exploration in addition to platforming and combat. Integrating the story and gameplay to provide a supporting fiction for the reused space and making the environments feel more meaningful. Compelling secondary gameplay in the form of optional missions, secrets and rewards that take Ratchet to the corners of each map, and layout that allows, where possible, Ratchet to tackle objectives in any order and or from multiple different angles. Huh. That's kind of cool. Talking about the design philosophy. And I like that the Leviathans are back. They look a little different, I think. I might be wrong, though. Design theory. Fundamentally, a Ratchet level can be thought of as an exploration of a sci-fi world that is densely packed with a variety of fun interactions and mechanic uses. These activities themselves are separated out into what we refer to as setups, each its own micro-story of things conspiring to obstruct Ratchet's progress before they are overcome by the player. These obstacles can be things such as enemies trying to defeat Ratchet, navigational problems, or simple puzzles that must be solved. Each of the setups should be treated as its own little microgame that should be interesting, fun, and provide the right amount of difficulty and challenge. They should vary the pacing, dangers involved, and what skills and techniques are needed to successfully overcome them. That's kind of neat. Like, it's good learning about stuff like that. Oh no, this is the, this is where that shot is, because that's the freaking camera right there. Definitely, no question. Yeah, no, it's interesting hearing that. Like, that's the way they design, not necessarily all games, but this game in particular. It's cool to hear. Level design. There are core principles behind the level design of Ratchet Clank: an emphasis on fun, not realism or simulation. Worlds are highly saturated with colour, a sense of exploration, adventure and wonder, fun cartoon violence, combat, non-realistic. The key to successful level design is interweaving of gameplay mechanics and grounding the player in the fiction of the world, as designers must seek to create the perfect synergy between the two. Yeah, and it's a difficult job. Like, it's a really difficult job, and they do it mostly very, very well. Setup design. Enjoyable setups alone are not enough, and good use of the environment is necessary to sell the world as a whole. In order for this to happen, the designer must have a good understanding of what the world is and how it functions. This means investigating the world to learn about its ecology and architecture. The environment should increase the fictional value of the product and make the player want to find out more about the universe. In terms of pure gameplay, it should provide obstacles and scenery that fit naturally and complement the mechanics. It is also critical to involve representatives from design, art, and programming during the process. This enables the designer to bounce ideas off peers to gain the perspective of the other disciplines and to understand their wants and needs. We might be nearly done with this section already, actually. Yes, I was going to say I saw a button somewhere. Whoa. This is new. Yes it is. What is this? I see I'm dead. Oh, no, never mind. Save point. Save point. Wrench only, let's go. Death's 1 of 3, so I'm only allowed to die 3 times. This is cool. Like a little mini assault course kind of thing. So, was this gonna be, the arena missions from Ratchet 3? You know, where they had the assault courses as well. Because I would have been up for that if they included it. I feel like they've been way too generous with the stuff they're giving us, so... But I would have been up for it, it's pretty cool. It's a nice area. I wonder if it would have stayed like this, or this is just like a base texture, just to show you like the very, very basic of what it was trying to achieve. Probably the basic. Or they were going for a VR kind of feel. I don't know. What do I know? I don't, and that's the thing. Here we go. Yeah, one! Yeah, boy! Procedural Arena. This procedurally generated arena is a virtual set of platforming obstacles originally intended as one of the Battleflex lobby games. When activated, the generator would produce a series of platforms and hazards for Ratchet to traverse in a timed challenge. The player would also get a number for that challenge, and if they liked it, they could enter that number into the generator to play it again. The number could also be sent to a friend for them to try it out. Ultimately, there were too many potential testing, lighting, and generation issues with a huge number of possible combinations, so we decided to cut the generator from the game. Oh, that's a shame. Is it a different one this time? It is different. That's awesome. I hope they revisit this, actually, because that's a really nice idea. Like, I understand the struggles of it and how much work would have to go into it. I do get it, like, completely. But it would be super cool if they did something like this again. I'd be up for that. Because, like, I wonder how many variables... I wonder if it is actually creating, like, different ones each time. Or if it is, like, limited to, like, oh, you've only got, like, 5. But I like it. It's really cool. What a neat idea. I wouldn't have guessed it was procedurally generated. But yeah, that's super cool. Yay! Well, that's all from that, but that's super cool. Yeah, it's a shame that wasn't in the game, actually. That's a big old shame. So where does this put us? Is this where I think it is? Yes, okay. So we haven't explored the service elevator. We haven't explored any of this. Oh. Chimera conference room. That's a resistance thing. Nefarious Destroyer. The Nefarious Destroyers were larger versions of the common Nefarious fighter ships and would dock with the fighters to increase their strength and available moves. The Destroyer would launch a volley of Seekers and try to dock with a pair of bombers. If the bomber docking is successful, a wave of energy would build up along the edge of the ship's hull and fire away from the ship, sending a crescent-shaped wall of energy towards the target. The Destroyer would then pull up and out of the fight, returning to the attack pool until the time came to make another pass. Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. That's pretty neat. Right. 2 more sections to check out. Or, well, 2 large sections, but still, 2 sections. Actually, it might just be 1. Angela! Pole moves. We've always wanted to give Ratchet some more acrobatic moves to highlight the Lombax's animal nature. One idea was to give him a series of climbing and swinging moves to climb vertical and horizontal poles in the environment, pipe, scaffolding, etc. With the amount of custom animations required for what was basically a complex jumping puzzle, we decided to cut out Ratchet's pole moves. Oh, that's interesting. That's cool. I didn't know about that. The Ratchet conference room. Who is Argorian Warrior?
Hey there, congratulations on unlocking the behind-the-scenes video for Ratchet & Clank A Crack in Time. My name is Brian Bernal, I'm the project manager, and we're going to take you around the office now and try to answer the question, who is the Agorian Warrior?
Oh, this is awesome!
When we first set out to create all the different factions in RCF2, we decided that we wanted it to be, in a lot of ways, almost like a version of high school. You have the Arachnoids, who are kind of the geeky IT guys that kind of sit off in their own little table in the cafeteria.
Do we know any girls? Who needs girls when you have pizza and a VG9800 game system?
And then you've got the cool guys, the Agorians, who are like the jocks who are always angry and bumping each other's chests and just, you know, downing energy bars.
They've been around for 3,000 years, as other races have recorded them to be known, and they haven't evolved at all. All they do is fight. That's all they've ever done.
I think the best description I heard of that was, they have a, you know, they're honorable, they have a sense of honor and a code, but they just keep rewriting it.
You will pay for your incompetence with your lives. We realize that every time you wish death upon us, it is because you care.
You know, me and Brian Algar, we wrote up a whole character breakdown of all like the character traits that we wanted, and we wanted them to be very honorable creatures, and we want to have this code of ethics that always kept changing. And then, you know, we took that and we showed it to the artists, and we had Greg Baldwin and Dave Girton start sketching different things up. They came back at us with some really funny stuff, and that's when it got sent over to the animator. So we tried to give it like enough of an outline where everyone had a large canvas to work from, but we still wanted to leave a lot of room for people to put their own stamp on it.
So at Insomniac, when we start designing an enemy, we start creating these rough sketches and diagrams. So we'll typically use a program like Illustrator, where we can kind of create our little maps, create diagrams of what the characters might look like. And so with the Agorians, we wanted to have different ranges of combat, because we knew at that point the player would have a lot of weapons. They'd have like a sniper rifle style weapon, and some mid-range weapons, and some short range. So that's how we designed the enemies. Here we got in the front, we've got these more mid-range bombers. We've got the melee guys that are going to run up close into battle. And then of course we've got the guys that ride the beasts in the background. And these were, you know, obviously the generals. They were the leaders of the group that the players had to hunt down.
Usually for us, it's good enough just to have a drawing that really kind of captures the feel of the character, and it's up to us just to interpret that and put that into 3D. For this model, we had about maybe a week and a half to really get the high res down before we started going for the actual game asset. And once that's all done, it's sent on to Rig and the animators, and then we get a living, breathing character that you're going to see in the game.
My process is I go out, I shoot some reference, do some sketches based on observing, you know, around me, just kind of taking in what I see from, you know, other people and that kind of thing. Try to get an idea for the kind of character I want. You know, cinematics, you have close-ups, and so you can get these subtle things going on in the face. And so I can use my mirror to get that, but in the in-game stuff, I really want to get this sort of overacting, kind of loud, you know, kind of way.
That guy is an absolute legend.
Here at Insomniac, it's painfully obvious that everyone puts a little bit of themselves into every character that they work on.
Initially, they wanted to animate specifically to growl sound effects. So I growled and yelled and made myself hoarse one day, yelling in my office.
Of course, I drew on my experiences in high school because I was the varsity football player. I think it's obvious.
There's been talk that this Agorian warrior resembles me a little bit, but I don't see it at all.
Yeah. I couldn't even keep a straight face through that one. I definitely wasn't the IT guy.
I don't draw inspiration from people at the office necessarily. So as far as who the Agorian warrior is, you know, I couldn't really say. I don't know.
That was great. That guy was an absolute legend, like truly. That guy is awesome. I love him. He's the kind of actor that's just like, yes, get stuck right in. The mail room. Agorian Carrier. The Agorian Carrier was a huge space vessel Ratchet would need to strafe repeatedly to bring down. As he would come down for a strafing run, the carrier would open up with gun batteries and launch fighters to take him down. Oh, that's kind of cool. So I think this is the last section, because if I go to the left, is that the beginning? It is, yes, this is the final area. Already coming up to the end of this. Actually not as long as I thought it was going to be, unless there's something huge that shows up. Oh, what's this? Dice Crate. Dice Crate would cycle between ammo bolts, health, no reward, and explosive states. If the player timed it right, they could get whatever they needed most of the time by striking it when the appropriate icon flashed up. Fortunately, there were a lot of minor polish issues to address, and players couldn't really figure out what the symbols meant. It was a relatively low-cost interaction. You only got a few bolts, a little health, or took a little damage, and ultimately we decided to cut it instead. Really, you couldn't work out what it meant? Huh. Yeah, I got hit. Imagine if I died because of that. That would have been funny. Dimension Crate. Like other crate types, the Dimension Crate is triggered by damage being inflicted upon it. Once damaged, the crate implodes, then explodes into a flame large enough for Ratchet to walk through. The inner part of the flame fills with a portal to a bonus dimension, which Ratchet can see a preview image of. Stepping into the portal will warp Ratchet to a randomly generated bonus challenge. Completing or failing the challenge warps the player back to the portal entrance. If the player succeeds, the portal implodes. If they fail, they can jump back in for another try. That's cool, that would have been good. Hope they can incorporate that again someday. It's pretty neat. Sure, where's this going to take me? I do not know. No thanks, not yet. Teleport floors. The nefarious space station originally had a set of puzzles based around the security grid. If the player threw a time bomb, they would be able to navigate a path of panels to the other side. In our focus test, lots of people were trying to jump over the panels, which wouldn't work, or ability to take the dead-end paths without watching where it went. If they made the wrong move, the puzzle would send them back to the beginning of the puzzle. This caused many players to throw their controllers at us and shout some horrible things we won't mention here. The difficulty in communicating the rules of this puzzle in a reasonable amount of time, as well as the numerous head injuries received as a result of the thrown controllers, convinced us to cut the puzzle. Oh, okay, I see. So... I see. So, where can I stand? Where does it begin? I don't really understand. Yeah, I don't really understand, I'm not gonna lie. But, interesting. Oh, what's this? Phoenix Launcher. The Phoenix Launcher was based on the Predator missiles from Tools of Destruction. Ratchet locks onto enemies and these fiery birds of prey would be released from the glove, circling around Ratchet's head. When Ratchet fires, all of the Phoenixes would descend on their targets in a fiery explosion. While this weapon looked phenomenal on paper, it ended up not being a player favourite. It took too long for the Phoenixes to get into position, and from a gameplay perspective, they were exactly the same as the Predator missiles. Hence the decision was made to donate it to the museum and focus on polishing our other weapons. Interesting idea though, I like the concept. Shotgun Shark. A Shotgun Shark was a submission to the My Blaster Run's weapon design contest. Well, it didn't win the contest, it did win the Heart. The Heart Tom? Heart Tom. Oh, sorry, the Heart. Tom, one of our character artists. I don't know, that's weird, like, wording. This is a quick version he whipped up just for kids. Huh. Razor Talons. The Razor Talons were energy blades designed to cut through enemies in close quarters. They're based on the Razor Claws from Tools Destruction, but as we were nearing the end of production, we lacked the time to add all the cool attacks necessary to make the weapon fun. Therefore, we made the tough decision to cut the talons and focus more on our ranged arsenal. Yeah, that's fair. It happens. Grav Sphere uses. When equipping the Grav Sphere, Ratchet is enveloped in a sphere of energy made up of hexagonal tiles. The default state of the sphere is lightweight, and Ratchet's jump height is increased due to the light gravity. In low gravity mode, Ratchet can glide farther, jump higher, and travel on objects that normally could not carry his weight. Oh, okay, interesting. That sounds broken. That sounds really broken. So long, Grav Sphere. The Grav Sphere was a great idea, but the work it would have required to take it up to Insomniac standards would have taken away from the other gadgets used more frequently throughout the game, like the hover boots. Once those were in and working properly, it became clear we wouldn't be able to support the two alternative modes of travel that you can activate anywhere, and so the Grav Sphere went the way of the Quagmite. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I see why. Babblehorn. The Babblehorn was a gadget used to hack through doorways by communicating with the various troopers. We also wanted the player to talk to some of them using patterns of flashing lights. When we reached the implementation stage, we realised how much design work would go into creating all these sequences, since it really boiled down to a timing-based minigame without the humour or the pirate hologuise and Tools Destruction. We ultimately decided it wasn't worth it. Yeah, I sort of understand. Yeah, it's just it's a simple puzzle, no humour, like, not too much to it per se. Not bad by any means, but yeah. Extinct Enemy. These creatures were a moon-specific race of squishy brain organisms in powered suits. We were going to use the Drophid models from Tools Destruction as a base. They would communicate telepathically whenever Ratchet approached them and use telekinetic waves to pull him in and attack. Similar to the Thrashers in the arena. Our character team was overbooked and we decided to go with our existing nefarious Agoran and feral enemies instead. Okay. Time Cleaners. Time Cleaners are natural denizens of the Great Clock. They were created by Orvis to be used as temporal energy eaters. You may have heard him refer to them during his recorded message to Sigmund. While incapable of doing major time reconstruction, they are, unfortunately for Clank, able to devour and digest small temporal anomalies such as Clank's recorded cells and his time bombs. In their non-aggressive state, Time Cleaners are small, cute, playful creatures. However, when alerted to the presence of an edible time anomaly, they swell up to a vicious eating machine. The idea is interesting, but I feel like it would have made the puzzles too complicated, which is not what it needs, because it works so well being simple. The Astrolabe. The Astrolabe channels time energy ribbons through the major components in the Great Clock. It forms a large counterpiece in the middle of the Great Clock, with several large time ribbons extending from it to the buildings along the play area. When we re-enter the Great Clock, after Clank's awakening, the Astrolabe is broken, spinning oddly, smoking, and with broken time ribbons. When we return after Clank repairs parts of the facility, it is fixed, which fixed time ribbons attached. Okay, interesting. It reminds me of the things that Aqua hits in Kingdom Hearts 2.8. I know it's not based around that or anything, but it just reminded me of it. A Clank conference room. More shiny! We've vastly improved how our services handle lighting. Specular light highlights, the shiny reflections from nearby lights, have a lot more detail and range of brightness and shadow. The tech team really pulled this one off. Now our scales can be slimier, our robot shinier, and our game looks more polished all around. Fun factor, and of course, let's not forget the fun factor, which, with our characters, often when a character's personality is described, we lean towards our archetypal designs, which has been a staple for this franchise. Once in a while, we can take forms that are in direct opposition of the character's traits to allow the personality to be even more dramatic. The creature aspects of any given character have become more and more abstract, but like the tech, many of the designs are derivative of the surface and form qualities of animals. The endless number of patterns, rhythms, and anatomical structures can add to the sense of believability. This idea of believability is hugely subjective and should be stretched as far as it can go. The question to ask about any asset is, can I imagine that working? From pencil to computer, all these characters are described in a 3D world while still maintaining the qualities of a 2D world. Most of the deciding factors for having the clarity of a 2D design is whether the silhouettes are clear, whether the internal details are easy to pass visually both from afar and from a closer viewpoint, and if the overall mood or personality of the asset can be read accurately on the first read. One great aspect of these designs is seeing the opposition of forms between two related characters. Even with the contrast between the characters maintain a unified style and look, which keeps them grounded in the same world, or universe in Ratchet Clank Future's sense, or case. Sci-fi B-movie style. Dr. Nefarious and his gang of robots have invaded the Briga star system, hoping to create a new dystopia where the villains rule the universe. With him, Dr. Nefarious has brought a flair for the dramatic and over-the-top B-movie designs. Dr. Nefarious and his robot cohorts prefer presentation and dramatic flair over the functional and working designs. Yeah, I sort of may have read them back to back, but shh, it's okay, doesn't matter. Sweet angel, it's fine. Kitchen! This is the kitchen! The kitchen is the place, but seems to have nothing in it apart from some popcorn. That doesn't look that great. Not trying to be mean or anything, but, like, it doesn't. But I don't think it's trying to be, so that's not a big deal, I guess. Oh my, what is this? Oh. Blade Master Energy Blades, yes. Hunter Helmet. Spikes. Plate. Strap. None. Golden Sash of Fortitude! None, none, none. None. There we go. Oh, this is sweet! So is this, yeah, it's just different camera angles. So I guess it's whether or not your team wins. This is cool. Come on, you can do it. Yeah, you did it. Round 1. Oh, yeah, we'll just exit for now. That was cool though. So what's the deal? Can I get shot here? Probably. Oh, that was super neat. Well, can you care to explain what that was? Anyone, anywhere? That's pretty neat. I'm guessing no. Character texturing. The color data for the character should hold up as simple blocks of color from a distance on every asset. When too much grit and detail is added to the main forms of a character, as the character moves further from the camera, it becomes difficult to pass visually. An asset should have distinct first read and second read levels of detail. The different materials, glass, rubber, metal, skin, should be consistent throughout the entire game. These consistencies help unify the look of the universe and add to the toy appeal of the franchise. It also helps to unify the entire character effort, making the game more polished. Stay away from the too believable for a textured surface. Photo reference in textured data can cause a break in style. Stylized and hand designed services are far more relative to the franchise. So seriously, we're gonna just ignore that? Like, what was this? Anyone gonna explain what this was? Is there like an explanation out here? No? Like, okay. I'm guessing it was just a thing they were gonna do at some point. Oh, let's teleport. No idea where this is gonna take me. Oh. I feel like it's gonna tell me something, but it's just not. Oh, there you go. Teleporter moon. This is an early design for the teleporter moon. The basic concept was to litter the moon with teleporters and force the player to find the correct path to get the reward at the end. Before this design was implemented, there was already concern about being able to orientate yourself and find your way across the moons, and this design made that flaw even more apparent. Now we had a moon where you didn't know where you were, where you had been, or where you were supposed to go, and there were practically no visual indicators to help you out. After watching multiple people run around in circles, it became painfully obvious that having multiple paths just led to frustration and confusion, so we decided to cut down on the paths and focus more on the gameplay aspects of the moon. Oh, okay, interesting. Can't wait to get lost here. You ready? Here we go. Here we go. It's time to get lost. Yep. We're gonna get lost. Oh boy, are we gonna get lost. Like, I see what you're doing, game. I'm not sure I like it, but I see what it is you're doing. I could just cheat though and do that. I win! That's not the end, is it? No, it wasn't. Even though it was a purple thing, which signified victory, it was not the end. No, sir. Why would you think that was the end? You fool. Yeah, there's a reason why people were going around in circles. There is a good reason for it, because it's very easy to get lost. Okay, this has gotta be the end. There's loads of enemies, there's a purple thing, there's a block of wood. Like, it's gotta be the end. Do I win the prize? Probably not. Where's my prize? That is a weird texture, I'm not sure I like it. I feel like it wasn't supposed to be doing that. But, oh well. Is this supposed to rise at some point? Yes it is. Okay, I see. Oh, this is the beginning. Ah, good, I made it back. Thank Christ. Yeah, that was not great, I don't think, but that's just me, I guess. And what is this? Physics attachments. Our tech department gave us a new tool, the ability to attach objects with physics to each other. The result is more organic than our previous tool, which had us creating objects with the attachments built in. We also have more control over how the objects break. Oh, that's cool. Oh, and that's what the floor's for. Right, that's cool. Yeah, that's one of my favourite things of the game, actually. I love how it looks. It's visually stunning, like, truly. Lombaxes don't swim. We'd originally planned to support Ratchet swimming, as we have in other titles, but in the end we decided to focus more on his faster-paced run and gun gameplay. Also, our new water is very cool looking on the surface, but we hadn't dedicated that much time to get the underwater look to match the service quality. Okay, fair enough. Whereas in Ratchet PS4, they fucking nailed it. Junk Totem. Junk Totems are structures of cobbled together scrap parts that will fall apart when the player unscrews the primary bolt. When the player unscrews the bolt, the totem will crumble to bits and reward the player with a few bolts. Oh, okay. Interesting. Well, we have done everything thus far apart from this corner of the world. The Various Carrier. The Various Carrier is a large ship that launches waves of fighters and bombers to defend an objective. They can dock with the smaller ships to put up shields for the central dome, which acts as a weak point and a large beam weapon. When the dome is shattered, the ship's brain is revealed and swarms of small enemies will emerge, encircling the carrier and defending it from Aphelion. In general, our large capital ship gameplay did not pan out as we'd hoped, and the destroyers were converted to the Valkyrie boss ships. There were too many issues with attacking a static object in space. Players were constantly ramming into it, getting into position for a run, or struggling to fire at it in a limited amount of time. Ah, I see. Okay, we'll go there later. That's the final thing we'll do. I wondered if that was that. I wasn't sure if it was there or not. But that is the last thing we'll do. HR. I don't know what HR actually is. Oh, human resources. Never mind. Finance. The first hypersonic brainwave scrambler. This music is interesting for it. The original version of the hypersonic brainwave scrambler was smaller and more reminiscent of a certain pesky droid from another galaxy far, far away. The HBS was so destructive to the Great Clock that we needed to beef it up to a larger shape. That way it could smash through the walls and be a little easier to identify from a distance. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. Stellar Leviathan. The Stellar Leviathan was the ultimate evolution of the Leviathans from Tools of Destruction. These spacefaring? I feel it's supposed to be fearing. Creatures would travel in packs like sharks and Circophilion, using a telekinetic tractor beam to pull it in and chomp down on it with a massive bite. We could not get the animation system for the Leviathan going again, and he used a procedural animation to undulate his into Tools of Destruction. We needed the time to get the core space combat working and therefore had to cut him. Oh, okay, so it would have been in the space sections. That's cool. Blank room. This might be the final thing, actually. Oh, Christ, that looks terrifying. Ted's office! Modern Ratchet. The RCF version of Ratchet has 9,435 polygons and 253 joints. He's got a trimmer waist and more delicate features that let us create more expressive and subtle actions. The high definition era lets us make more and more realistic characters. In Ratchet's case, we can make our stylized characters more believable without sacrificing his exaggerated design. The Ratchet Clank 1 to 3 version of Ratchet had 6,912 polygons. His head and hands are a bit larger, which makes him look a little younger. Oh, interesting. Huh. That is interesting. Right. Well, I think, unless I've missed something, that is everything, apart from out here. This is the only outside section which definitely has something worth looking at. And that is Dan Johnson. I don't think the game actually specifies, but Dan Johnson was someone who works in Insomniac, and there's been a reference of him in pretty much every Insomniac game. People think it goes back as far as Ratchet 1. Not true. He's actually in Spyro 2 and 3. I don't think he's in the first. Yeah, he's in most of the Spyro games as well. And I believe either before or during production of this game, he died. So that is basically like the ultimate, like, homage to him. Yeah, I think we've explored everything. So that's the Insomniac Museum. Yeah, that took me like an hour to get through, which makes sense. It's a big area. It's a big area. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Next time, we are going to take on the final boss once more and finish this game for good. I'll see you then. Take care. Bye-bye.